Hey everyone, today I've got your Joker movie review. There's a new clown in Gotham City, but was it as controversial as the media made it out to be? So as far as the story goes, The Hangover director Todd Phillips gives us a fresh take on the most iconic villain in DC Comics. Now, prior to seeing this movie, I was completely against the idea of this movie being told outside of the DCU timeline, and now that I've seen it, oh my god, I was absolutely speechless by the end of the movie. As soon as the credits rolled in, I was literally just sitting there in my chair, front row seat, staring at the screen because of literally everything that I had just seen within that 2-hour time frame. From the first scene set in the 1980s, you have Joaquin Phoenix's character, he plays Arthur Fleck, and he's out on the street, and then what comes next is so uneasy to watch, and it escalated to a disturbing set of events. And I had my hand covered quite a few times watching this movie, and my boyfriend looked over at me just to make sure I was okay. And this movie at times was not okay because, but in like a good way, because of, I honestly didn't find a single thing bad about this movie, but there were some things that were just so crazy to watch. There are so many topics that are brought up in this movie regarding mental illness, as well as how society treats others, especially of a lower, class. And it just seemed like, especially for those who are different from them, and it just shows this realistic approach to this, well-known dark character, and especially ones that we had seen in past incarnations. And obviously, I had loved Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, and this one I feel like takes it to yet another level of just insanity. I felt personally affected by this movie, and just the way that the depiction of the Joker manifests on screen, and I couldn't take my eyes off of the screen because I was so invested with the story, which I found to be quite good. And the script was equally amazing, and it was just told in a way that I never thought that I would see. The guy who directed The Hangover, and that's a comedy, and you would think obviously the Joker, he makes jokes at times, which he also does in this movie, but this was certainly no laughing matter. Now, as far as the casting goes, Joaquin Phoenix delivers a powerful, emotional, hypnotic performance where you often sympathize with his character, Arthur Fleck, before watching him transform into the Joker with this descent into madness that surely is worth an Oscar nomination. Wouldn't it be cool to see another Oscar win for a Joker actor? I think it was so disturbing to watch. It almost felt like I was watching Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates in this movie. Seeing the way he handles his emotions and his mannerisms, and the casting alone was great overall. Robert De Niro was equally good. Everyone else pulled this movie together. So the things that I liked about this movie was that the movie made me laugh. It made me cry. I definitely felt like tears were gonna start flowing as soon as I saw certain things happening on screen. And I felt like my heart was beating outside of my chest, because when I think I've literally seen a masterpiece in cinematic history, I know it had to be this movie. And I literally couldn't say that about any other movie that I had seen this year. I also like the fact that this movie, compared to any other DC movie, I feel like it does take risks in showing the breakdown of the human psyche and the violence that ensues later on in the movie, which, yeah, a lot of people wanted to avoid this movie because they heard that, you know, yeah, it could depict some violence because of things that were happening in reality or in past events at movie theaters, and really turned people away. But this is not a movie that you should be turned away from. It's a wake-up call. It's an eye-opener. And there are subtle nods to Batman and Bruce Wayne, especially if you were a concerned DC fan going in to see this movie and you weren't going to get any of that. But you do get some that I won't exactly spoil what happens, but it really satisfied me, especially as a DC fan and a Batman fan, of course, and with the execution of those plot points. And I'd also have to say that the score was hauntingly beautiful and worked perfectly and intricately with every scene. I just felt completely moved to watch this movie, and it makes me want to see it just again and again. I told my boyfriend I'm getting this movie on Blu-ray, and it was just superb. So overall, I would say that this movie literally exceeded my expectations, and I'm really happy that I saw it. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie, whether or not you're a DC or Batman fan. Go see this movie. It is not one to miss, and I would give this 5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Joker. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Trail Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.